seems a little less stable, more and more people are turning to the CSR type of programming. And part of that is because it's easier to get funding for those types of events. You're kind of killing two birds with one stone, where you're achieving a team building and you're also giving back as a community. And the combination of that makes it easier for corporations, I think, to go along with it and feel like it's a worthwhile investment. We are really seeing a lot of, particularly since the pandemic, is an interest in more of a global impact from our client. We're looking at doing events where they produce something that then gets donated internationally, where they don't get to see in person the recipient, but rather watch videos of who they are, learn about where the donation is going. And then the really cool part of that is once that donation does make it to its intended destination, we follow back up with the client to show pictures of the recipients who actually got like the thing that they created and that they built and they donated. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of variables there, obviously, so it doesn't have to break the bank, but some programs are a little on the pricier side because the impact that people are generating is just larger in and of itself. You have something like the prosthetic hand project, where teams are literally building mechanical hands that are being donated to people in Africa. That's a little bit more expensive. We work with the client to figure out all those sort of circumstantial things. So, what is your budget? How many people are participating? How many teams are we going to have? What is your ultimate goal in terms of this impact? Are you looking to do it locally? Are you looking to do it internationally? Are you looking to do it for children or for adults? So we kind of gather all that information and then we produce a quote based on all of those specifics for every client. I think it's important to remember that it isn't even just like the physical donation, but like using the prosthetic hand as an example, it's paying for the manufacturing of those parts, which in this case, all of the parts are actually manufactured at an organization that employs only people with disabilities. So your charitable donation kind of starts from where you're even sourcing the materials. And then it also includes, as part of the charity's process, getting those materials to their end destination. Again, with the prosthetic hand project, that means a clinic, usually somewhere in Africa or India, and they have a whole team of people that are on site, and they actually fit every single hand to each individual person that's coming in, and they teach them how to use it. And all of that is part of the donation. It's not just like the physical hand that you see, but it's getting it from the very start to the actual intended recipient. Noticed a question had come in about CSR trends for shorter length programs. And that's definitely something that we're finding a request for more and more. People have limited time. And so, one of the things that we've done, we created a program called Donation Station, which essentially takes all of the team building elements kind of out of it and really focuses on just producing whatever that end donation is going to be. So say a client has, 7 meetings during a daytime, and during the breakout, like 10 minutes that they have between meetings, they want people to go to this station, pack a bag full of snacks for a local, food shelter, and then go back to the next meeting. And so everybody still has that sense of impact of like, I packed a bag and I know where this is going, but it doesn't take up a lot of time. It doesn't take up a lot of space. And we can really weave it into the circumstances that you have going on for that particular event. So yeah, there's always creative ways to make it work when you have limited time and limited space, and to still get that big impact feeling at the end of it. Early conversations with our sales team are so important, and the things that help us determine the program that would best fit your client's needs is, number one, what is their ultimate goal? What's the takeaway that they want from this? If it's a charitable program, do they care what kind of charitable program? Are they looking for a target demographic? Do they want it to be local? Do they want it to be global? Again, those factors of where it's located. Do we have a local facilitator in that area, or do we need to fly somebody in? How many people are you going to have? That determines how many teams we're going to create and how many donations are actually getting generated. How much time do you have? That's, if you want a full 2-hour, 2.5-hour program with all the bells and whistles, or just that kind of walk through type of donation station event. So all of these are, I think, really important conversations. And sometimes clients call and they're like, we know exactly what we want, and this is it. And it's our job to find a way to make it happen. And sometimes clients call and they're just like, maybe you can kind of guide us in the right direction. We really try to have, a fit that works for each type of industry and each type of client that comes our way. there are a lot of times where they have location chosen, they know where it's going to be, and they know what kind of donation it's going to be. And then it's on us to find an organization that can receive that type of donation. And the great benefit of having a local charity there is that we really try to organize one of the people who represents that charity to show up at the end of the event. And if it's possible to have like the actual people who are getting the donation, not just the general organization, that's another really impactful moment that we like to have with them. So yeah, I think that it's nice to be able to focus within a local environment. It's fun for us too to kind of explore like what kind of charities are available here. Sometimes we're really in the middle of nowhere and we have to reach out to a slightly farther field and find the closest city that might be able to accept. But having the ability to make that immediate local impact, to see that immediate result when you're presenting it to the charity, it's really, really powerful. There's sort of tangible benefits and then the non-tangible benefits, like the emotional benefit that you walk away from. In terms of the tangible, obviously upfront, we try to delineate in the contract what costs are for the program itself and what the actual cost of the donation is going to be, so that the client understands financially, like this is the contribution you're making. I think it's important to remember that no contribution is too small. I think some clients are like, I have 10 people and 2 teams. Is it worth even making 2 backpacks or 2 hands or 2, skateboards? It is. Those are 2 lives that you're going to change. So every little bit matters. We also have clients that we work with over multi-year contracts where our job is literally to help them meet specific benchmarks. So the client says, we need within 5 years to have 10,000 volunteer hours done by all of our employees across the country. And then our job is to meet that goal. So we develop programs that fit with they align with their company values. We work really closely hand in hand with that particular client, and they approve every single thing that goes into each of the events that we're producing so that it really is meeting exactly what it is that they're looking to meet. And it's been a really good experience to actually collaborate with them and meet our goals every year, and then also continually be striving for this larger 5-year goal. Everything we do with them is customized and hand in hand. And that's a different way of sort of showing the deliverables and making those benchmark goals, that we help track those on our end as well. We have a non-charitable program that's Olympic based and lots of really fun, engaging Olympic themed challenges. And we had a client that really wanted that event, but they also wanted to donate backpacks to a local school. And so we had to find a way to sort of weave those 2 counter goals together. And the solution that I came up with was the school supplies that we were going to be providing were going to be sports themed school supplies. So if you completed a basketball challenge, you would be then awarded basketball notebooks. If you completed a soccer thing, you would get a soccer water bottle. And so we tried to kind of find a way to weave it together. And it actually worked out really, really well, surprisingly. And so that's a request that we get somewhat regularly, to take a program that's not designed to be a charity program and to find a way to make it one. So coming from the program development perspective and trying to create programs that do appeal to everybody, I always try to include elements that are mental, that are physical, and that are creative, so that everybody on the team has some moment where they're like, this is my jam, this is where I'm going to shine. And we find that makes a big difference. So, if you're just doing trivia and you're not great at trivia, like, you're not going to find a lot of enjoyment in that particular game. So we really want to give challenges that speak to different areas of people's brains, different skill sets that they might bring to the table, and have those all kind of weave together. So that's one really important thing. Going back, again, I keep going back to it, but the prosthetic hand project, one of the things that we do as well is try to have them connected to the end recipient in a way. So with this particular program, participants actually have one hand that's covered as they're assembling these hands. So they're experiencing firsthand, so to speak, what it's like to deal with this limitation. And it builds this great sense of empathy and helps them have a broader understanding at the end of the event of like really what challenges these people face and how much of a difference this gift is going to give to them. So I think that that's another really important part too, is finding ways to to get them out of their normal headspace and into a place where they can really empathize and understand the larger picture of the donation and of the goal. We welcome anytime somebody wants to get involved and put their perspective out there and kind of share with us what they're hoping to achieve. The more information that we get from the biggest diverse group of people that we can, the more successful we're going to be at booking your events and creating something that's really unique to you and to your participants.